Do you know what I hate, Rich?
What do you hate?
I hate technical difficulties and headsets. So what happened is I went to change the mic volume. The cable is very twitchy, and I touched the cable, and it's turned off completely. So
We're back.
whoops.
Well, we're back now, right?
Like I said, guys, we are going to be getting headsets very soon, and they're going to be much, much better. Audio better?
Yeah, can you
Please
hear
tell me
anything?
everything's fine. Sound a bit like robots. That's not good. No one should be sounding like robots. Sound is better now. Don't touch the microphone. You know what? I'm not going to touch those microphones. Ugh. Sorry.
Go on again.
It's not gone. It's there. It's just apparently we sound like robots.
We sound like Daleks.
It's good enough. Aircon home. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't touch. It's starting to sound like Space Marines.
Ooh, wrong game.
Don't touch. It's fine. Right, we're going to go with that. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for slight issues with our audio. But it's all back now and we are good. So I'm not going to pay too much attention to chat. Otherwise, this is going to go really bad. So, Rich, we're here for some Bretonnia. So, also, by the way, over the weekend, we were at PC Gamer Weekend and we did win Make War Not Love That, and we were also showing off some Bretonnia content as well. So, you guys have been paying attention to that. But what everyone's here for is one thing and one thing only. It is some gameplay. So here we go.
The new front end, right?
Oh yeah,
that's what they're here for.
So, what was the reasoning from behind this? And because I really like this, because I think it kind of shows off kind of the differences here. But do you want to go for it?
Yeah, I mean, essentially what we've been looking at is just trying to improve the flow for everybody, whether you've already got the game now or you're going to be, potentially purchasing the game, and just sort of navigating your way through, so you know exactly where you should be going. What's the old world campaign, which is our core essential grand campaign, and then also which races are available to you, or whether you want to go and look at one of our new DLC or free LC sub factions as well. So just done a few little improvements here, which you'll hopefully like and help you get into the game.
Yeah. So with that, let's go straight in. So we have 3 factions to play. So do you want to quick us do a run through of what these factions are like? So obviously today we're going to be playing Bretonnia. So I think these guys are pretty straightforward. People already know a little bit about this guy, but
he's a champion of men. He is quintessentially everything that you would hope in a king. He's a Grail Knight by his own right, and King Louen is an extremely chivalrous man, which is playing on one of our major new features, which we'll explain in a minute once we're in the campaign. And he's just a great choice if you want to start a Bretonnian campaign. Not to say that Albric and the Fae are not; they're just very different, and they all give you very different challenges and people who you're going to encounter in the first few turns or so.
Yeah, I was telling you the challenges of playing one of those lords a few minutes ago. So their starting position, obviously. Kind of classic, right at the north there. They have some unique opponents as well at the beginning.
They do. And
we'll show on that very soon. Obviously, Lord effects. We have 25 increase on aura size, which is very useful, especially when attacking. That's a good point to realise. Well, it's very useful. Obviously, you're going to have an army pretty much of peasants. I'm sure we'll get into that. And obviously campaign movement speed, which is incredibly useful for all characters, and it starts off with Kingly Vows, which is something we'll get into right away. And starting units, Pegasus Knights, and we also have a field trebuchet. I don't think you understand how much I love trebuchets. And we'll also get into that at some point as well. And we also have some Grail Knights as well.
So what's there not to love, eh?
What is there not to love? I mean, immune to vigor is definitely one of the things I definitely like. These guys are pretty damn powerful.
They've been certainly, reworked for this new edition. When we first released Bretonnia back with the original game, the roster was much thinner, so we had to make sure that on a par with all the other races, they could hold their own. And now with the new editions, which you might have seen or we'll certainly go over, we've come back to these guys and given them a new position in the roster, some new little tweaks. Some have been buffed up, some have been sort of reworked to be downgraded a little bit, but just they'll fit in neatly now, and they'll really provide an equally par roster of troops to go against Empire and the Orcs and everybody else.
I think they're really well rounded, so I'm really curious to see how they're going to play out in multiplayer, because I think they have a lot of very curious ways to fix that. I'm just asking one of our tech people how bad our robot sounds are. If it's so bad, I will literally restart the PC, but I'm hoping it's not too bad. Stop, talk, play. I think that's always good. Don't worry, I think we'll go with that. Alright, I think we're just going to go with it.
Good?
Yeah.
Alright.
Not too bad. That's good enough for me. Let's just go on. Can it throw a 90k projectile at 300 meters? Yes. I think that's exactly how far. So, I guess we'll let people see the intro.
Yeah.
Actually, we won't, because I remembered that they're not even going to have the audio for that.
Oh. No audio.
They have a bit of it, but they won't have a lot. So
okay, but that was essentially
we'll let them get to see that.
Focused around all our different legendary lords with Albrecht there at the forefront. And you can certainly see it online if you haven't done so already.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point. No game sound. There should be now. I've added it in. Yeah, there will be now. Turned it on. No game audio. No audio in game. I know, it's muted. There's a reason for that as well, because obviously when you're talking, trying to get across stuff, last thing you want is some orc bashing your shield. You ever see the Rome 2 presentation ages and ages ago at Res? I remember it clearly because I was there on the other side, and
the other side.
They are on the campaign map, and they're right next to one of the heroes, and it kept banging its shield whenever Alan was trying to talk. You couldn't really hear anything. So obviously we're going over the starting positions here. See the Wood Elves down at the bottom, who are not quite as dangerous as they used to be.
They're not. They're not quite the green chaos anymore. But that's not to say that they won't come out of the forest and do you some damage from time to time.
Don't get me started on that. I had a. We'll have a campaign where we have to deal with Wood Elves. I'm 100% sure. All right, cool. So this is our starting position. Yeah. First chapter, first objective. We've been obtained chivalry. So do you want to run us down on chivalry?
So one thing that we've done that's different for Bretonnia to everybody else is the chapter objectives have now been turned into the errantry war. So essentially, throughout your campaign, you're going to be looking to call about an errantry war by the end of it. And you're going to work up through your chivalrous status, let's say, to get to that point in time where King Louen will raise his sword and choose where you're going to go off to in the world and slay your enemy. So that's just the start point there. And as you can see here, we've given you the how they play message, which will explain the very basics, which we're going to go and touch on now. And we're just highlighting here at the top of the screen and also the bottom right corner as well, some of the new UI pieces which really bring about our new mechanics for Bretonnia.
Yeah, so when I was first playing this on some of the other builds, I didn't know that, so I just recruited a load of peasants, and then all of a sudden just had no money. So let's, as you see right now, our peasant economy is quite, well, we've got quite a lot actually. So when you're recruiting these troops, you've got the icon coming up.
That's right, yes. Yeah, so all the units in the Bretonnian roster are either classified as a peasant or as a nobleman, a knight. And we show that through both here on the unit information panel, but also you'll see down on the knights themselves, they have little icons as well. And the knights are important because they all use different vows. So if you're a questing knight, you're going to need a questing vow. If you're a knight of the realm, you're going to need the knight's vow. And of course, if you're the most powerful and illustrious knights in the land, the Grail Knights, you need the Grail vow. And Louen, as you can see here, he starts with all three of these vows at his disposal, being a Grail Knight himself. And what that allows you to do is essentially recruit all of these brilliant knights, but in mass, because they're not going to cost you as much as, say, they would if you had a generic Lord trying to kit out his army for the first time.
You know, this happened to me in one game where I had recruited a lot of questing knights and questing knights and knights of errand, and one of the enemy lords agents managed to kill injure him, so he was out of action, and I had to replace him with another lord, and my economy dropped. That's going to be a lot of things are going to come up with this. So as you can see, we have these all unlocked, and that's unique to him as a starting position, as a legendary lord, and he is just so good.
He is a proper champion, a proper boss. And if you go back to his skills as well, and just scroll across for everyone, the very top line there, he's got lots and lots of unique skills which nobody else has. So we've really, kitted these guys out with the various different legendary items, and just, things which resonate the chivalric kind of standing of the Bretonnians.
He definitely has. My favourite is obviously when he gets his mount. He's just got so many really cool abilities. Overall, he's just strong. I mean, things like that is when you. Also, it depends on how you want to skill up. Obviously, I've been playing like two different ways when I've been playing. I either go full out on combat and use them to hunt down other lords. Or I go for the idea of having a load of lower tier troops and then some really elite cavalry. And obviously, if I'm doing that, I'm going to be going through more of the battle commander skills, and obviously...
Yeah, you've definitely got that. And in both the campaign and the battle skill chains, you've got unique skills there as well for him, integrated with some of the more common ones which are shared by the Order Lords from Bretonnia. So, for instance, he's got one down there called the Royal Insignia, and that will mean that you'll be able to get the Royal Griffin Knights and the Royal Pegasus Knights much sooner than anybody else when you're trying to recruit them.
I worked out where that echo was coming from, and I fixed it, because when we restarted OBS, 2 mics were running. So I'm so sorry for all the audio issues. We are, like I said, once again in transition. But yeah, overall, he is easily one of the most powerful legendary lords I think I've ever had to use. Both on campaign map with getting these so early on, but also his mount and all these abilities up here. Some of them are literally some of the best. The replenishment rate, for knight units, very useful considering these are your go-to troops in all your battles. They're the ones saving you. And I think one of the things that Mitch or Oscar was telling me is just like the whole idea is kind of for hammer and anvil, which is the most classic tactic in all of Total War. But how long can your anvil actually hold?
Well, some of those peasants are not going to hold for very long at all, which is why you're going to most likely need the Grail Reliquary to support it, which is going to just keep them in combat that a little bit longer, so they don't become quite as terrified as they would normally do. After all, these are guys that are normally farming the fields and milking cows, and
it definitely shows when you see some of the units as well, because a lot of the spear units, especially, are using basically like farmyard equipment for weaponry, which is very much a keeping of medieval armies. So, taking a look at their starting position, we start off with a province straight away. And we also have our commandments here, and these commandments are really, really good. Like they're really, really strong. And sometimes when you have your commandments for other factions, some of them are kind of good. All of these are good.
That's good.
I would say. Like depending on what your play style is, you're going to go like for control, like late game, being able to put down, corruption from either vampiric or chaos, but most likely chaos. But we do have some vampires over on the side of Old World as well. Obviously, research weight and construction, and then the attacks rate, which is the go-to for everyone. Recruitment and increasing recruitment capacity, and growth, which what I am hammering that one. That is my first go-to thing for everything. So what should we go for right now?
Well, when all these peasants are dying from the pox, you definitely need some growth.
Well, I seem to get unlucky, and it seems to be the orcs that come through. Also, we have a nice little starting army. I really like this starting army. Obviously, we've got some of our makeshift troops here, being spearmen at arms, peasant mobs, and men at arms. So a few of these units, obviously, are the new ones you've added in here.
Yeah, I mean, that's something which we're thoroughly, pleased and had a great working relationship with Games Workshop to be able to include them here. We realised again that Bretonnia was, is a little bit behind everyone else. Some of the other races have had, some newer army books, and we just really wanted to work with Games Workshop to see if we could do anything to expand that out. And I'm pleased to say they were very much on board with that. And as you've seen here, like James was just showing you, the peasant mob and the different royal knights, the hippogriff knights and the Pegasus knights, and even things like the foot squires up there.
I love these guys, by the way. They've got the mustaches, they've got big swords. I mean, pretty much what isn't to love at that point.
Yeah.
So this is a starting position right now. We have one farm going, which is helping increase our amount of peasants we're allowed to have.
Yeah.
Stop me if I'm wrong.
No,
I'm 100% sure that's the way it plays.
So the way that the peasant economy works, it's you use your farm to essentially create your income, and that's where you're going to get your bowmen from. But the way you increase your cap is to actually go out and expand and gain new territories. Or there are a couple of techs which also help just increase the number. But all the major capitals of the Bretonnians, they will all give you more peasants essentially than anywhere else. If you go and expand into, let's say, Marienburg, you're not going to get as many of the peasants from that region as you would from Caron.
Okay, so obviously right now this is our opportunity. We start off at war with two factions. So we have Marienburg to the south, who we're at war with, and we're also at war with the Skull Smashers, who are sitting up here in the mountains. So interesting starting position. You're instantly at war with two factions, two very different factions.
Very different.
And Marienburg, as everyone who's ever played Empire knows, they're pretty rich and they're behind a wall.
Yeah.
So for early on armies, that's not fun. But then again, that's not a problem because we do have the best medieval siege weapon of all time, Trebuchet, which can fire a 95 kg projectile over 300 meters, and we have two of them. So we have an opportunity there. But also, something's going to happen that's going to make it very difficult to go on the offensive. But before we get to that, we also have a look at our technology tree. I like this technology tree because there's two different ways you can use this. So, do you want to give me a quick rundown before I start just picking away?
Sure. Right. So we've split the tech tree into two, very different strands. The first one on the left-hand side there, that's all based around the chivalric code of Bretonnia. So this tech side of the tree is going to allow you to build up relationship with your other dukedoms. It's going to give you some chivalry to build up your chivalry status as well with them, and it'll have one or two other nice little effects as well just to help you along the way. And ultimately, if you can research all those techs, you can get down to the bottom there where they join together, and that's going to help you unite and confederate all of Bretonnia as one.
So you can see here, for each of the Bretonnian factions, there is a relationship bonus plus chivalry. And then at the bottom here, plus 20 chivalry, and then relationship improvements with both the dwarfs and Empire. Yeah. Which is very useful in the game when they are kind of like your go-to trading partners and allies against chaos and pretty much everyone else. Beastmen, especially.
And all the other nasties. And talking of beastmen and all the other bad guys, there's a number of decrees there as well, which you'll see. And these are just going to give you either campaign or battle or both buffs to help you take on these guys. And not only will they give you that, they're going to give you chivalry boosts as well. So if you go out there and you have the decree, which is against the greenskins, each time you fight them, you're going to earn more and more chivalry for having that tech.
Yeah, and obviously up here you've got like chaos, which also and vampires here, so you can kind of tailor whichever faction you're fighting a lot. But especially over with wood elves, this is where it gets really interesting. Especially when you're the factions where you're bordering the wood elves, is if you for whatever reason get in a war and you decide to take this decree, your diplomatic status with the wood elves goes down even more, which means the likelihood to fight them again is very high, and then you end up in this back and forth where the only way is either you try and take them out, but then good luck because they're so difficult to get out of the woods.
It's pretty nasty going into Atheldarin, isn't it?
Yeah, I've lost like several armies. I hold myself up as quite a good player, And when I have a pretty good army, I had foot squires in my front line infantry. I've got like multiple heroes. I've got like massive cavalry wings and good cavalry. I'm just like, right, I'll siege them. 2 stacks, defending and 1 outside, no problem. I'm just like, Jesus, I'm getting slapped about. I'm like losing like a lot of my really powerful units, and then all of a sudden it's downhill from there because they raised a few more stacks. And then obviously, so what else is scary?
It's those big pointy ears, right? I
think so. It's more the big pointy spears that I'm kind of worried about with my cavalry, And then this is, so depending on how I'm playing, I might get a handful over here, and then I'll focus pretty much all down here. So, like you said, I like my graph.
Yeah, so on the right-hand side here, all of these texts are basically going to allow you to increase the economy, boost up what the peasants can do for you, basically. Whether that's actually farming itself and giving you more income, or increasing, say, their morale, their leadership, so that they're going to last longer for you in battle. We've also got a number of texts there which also give you chivalry as well. I think the very top right one. So so that's something that you need, and this is a good place to come and get it. But beyond the farms themselves, and the Bretonnians are obviously not known for being any kind of an industrial empire, and far from it, but they do like to produce wine and small lace goods and bits of that nature. So we do have a few industrial buildings. Now these are not affected by the peasant economy, so you're not going to suffer all the problems with these, but they're also not going to give you loads and loads of cash. So they're a good safe bet, and you might want a few of those, but you're going to need to sort of work out when you get them and how many farms you want to support with your peasants.
Well, these 4 here are quite key, I think. So, well, not such easy, but to unlock these 2 down here. Obviously, anything that brings down the cost of your infantry, but also here, like getting more from your peasants and overall regional presence is very useful.
You'd be a very kind lord, though, to give them a water pump, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, I need them to have fresh water so they can make more peasants. So I can throw them at the enemy walls to get killed. There's only because if I can get enough bodies of peasants, that maybe I can ride my horses right up over the walls. So that's the idea here, Rich. But so it makes sense.
I like it. Very creative.
And then down here we do have a legendary knight.
Oh, we do.
And this is tied to our chivalry. So
absolutely.
Up here right now we are at 10 or 0. Oh no, 10?
Yeah, no, we start with 10. So Louen has a trait which just by default will give him those chivalry points. And as you can see, chivalry is both a positive and a negative commodity. So you can, if you're not careful and you're a total, sort of like black sheep essentially, and you want to go around raising human settlements to the ground, or raiding, or just doing all sorts of nasty stuff, you can dip into the unchivalrous side of things.
Yeah.
And chivalry is based on all of your characters. So each character will have their own chivalry standing, and then that all feeds into the overall pool there that you see at the top.
Yeah. So I see. So when you're recruiting a lot of your lords here, you can a lot of them give bonuses on that as well. Yeah.
So all the lords and all the prophetesses would all give you a starting amount. And then as they play throughout the campaign, through your actions, you'll essentially gain traits. And some of those traits will be positive, and that'll be great because it will boost you up the chivalry bar. But some of them won't, and they'll bring you back down. And that brings us on to another little feature that we've got, which is that, let's say you've been charging around, raising settlements, doing nasty things, and you think, actually, I'm going to turn over a new leaf. Well, if you build a chapel, and you go and pray, like they would in the law, you can actually wash away your sins.
Very nice. So there's that one there.
So you'll lose those negative traits over time.
I did not know that. Well, now I do.
Now you do.
That's why you're the designer. I'm just here to learn. So a lot of people were just like, oh my god, they're still on turn 1. We've got a lot of information to drop here. It's not like this is just a small thing. For 3OC, this is massive. Like, these 3 factions play completely different. We're going to get into this a lot more over the course of the next few days because we've got 2 more streams to come. And all 3 of these factions, even though they're of the same they're all the same race. They do play very differently, and their challenges are all very different. And their antagonists at the very beginning are all
absolutely
completely different. Obviously, I wonder who the antagonists of these guys are going to be. Who knows? I get nightmares looking at this settlement now after so many early attacks. So right, we're gonna end our first turn. Actually, before I'm going to do that, obviously we start off with good diplomatic relations with all the other Bretonnian kingdoms, and with that is going to come the relationship building, which you're going to need early on in this game. But they do drag you into a lot of wars sometimes that you do not want to be in. But they help you in wars, and they are a buffer for you in a lot of ways.
And in a way, that can give you its own challenge. I've had that myself, where Paravon decided that they're going to unite with me, but then they've drawn me into a conflict with the Wood Elves, and it's not something that you really want to do, but you could be unchivalrous and take out one of the other dukes. It will give you a huge chivalrous penalty, but yeah, you will get dragged into all sorts of different conflicts depending on who they're fighting with.
So we have a damsel. There's damsel of heaven, life, and beasts.
Yeah.
And I think heaven and life are definitely very life, especially
life
for Bretonnians, because you can obviously healing up your really expensive cavalry. But heavens is obviously just so good for the AoE damage. So this is going to be the end of the first turn. We've got some building chains here, and you can see obviously because of faction we're playing, we get the Abbey of Grail Companions.
That's correct. Yes.
Which is huge.
Yes.
Building. I think, does every faction have one of these? Because I know that.
Yes, they do. So each one has a legendary building, which is definitely worth constructing if you can afford it.
Yeah, definitely. One of them we'll get to, I think, on our final day. You'll see the ladies one, which is really, really good. So kind of standard for guardhouse, especially, getting walls. Where do you get walls? I've heard that's different, isn't it?
This is going to change.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Don't show that bit.
Oh, okay.
It's all gonna
don't show that bit.
It's all going to be built
okay.
in. You don't need walls.
I was just like, is there anything you should be worried about? It's like, it's all fine. It's just
fine.
Like show something just like that. So obviously the main building everyone's been getting here to get their trebuchets out. Obviously the Grail Shrine that we were talking about before, and we got our smithy. Smithies are very useful because you want to get your shields for your peasantry. You need to get that quite early on, and then obviously down here we've got fields. And then we got the windmill, which obviously gives you a chance to increase the fields,
yes, absolutely,
and to go onto farms and then to landed estates. And then tap room, obviously you can't have a good time in Bretonnia unless you're having a few drinks. And then tavern, that goes all the way to coaching in, and then brothel up there, which is very chivalrous. Knights got to have fun as well. And then obviously resources depending on what territory you're in as well. Is there anything I missed here? Obviously, you see this kind of buildings you get later on. Yeah. Grail Guardians, and there's a tournament up here. Yes. So that's increasing for cavalry and so on. So certain areas will have really good bonuses for certain units. So certain will do really good for range units, other for cavalry. So once you start to get a bit more familiar with a Bretonnian land, you will start to know which ones you want to start to build up for your cavalry and infantry. Yeah. Which I've started to do. So I'm gonna go for early on because I think I'm not going to be using too much cavalry. I'm going to get that smithy early on, and I'm going to leave my army here because I kind of think I know what might happen. So we'll go for that.
They're all going, turn 2.
I'm going to get rid of showing AI turns as well because otherwise we'll be here for goddamn ever. Green skin and unpleasant land. What is going on here, Rich?
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the background lore, but there's a lot of
I'm not.
There's a lot of greenskins, a lot of filthy orcs and goblins which reside within the forests of Bretonnia. Mm-hmm. So what we wanted to do there is bring out some of that lore and also give you guys an early game challenge. Mm-hmm. So as you can see here, you're going to have some public unrest essentially. Just a little for a fair few turns.
Yeah, 20 turns of -20. When I first played, I didn't even know why I was getting -20. It was just like, oh my god, I'm really bad at this game. I don't know what I'm doing.
So these guys are going to, like I say, they're going to come from the forest. They're going to uprise against you and cause your peasantry and your nobility to sort of quake in their boots. So you're going to have to be very mindful when you go out exploring, because of course, Bretonnia is bordered by its friendly dukedoms. We want an evil within it. So these guys are going to come up and cause you no end of trouble. unless you go and hunt them out.
Wow. With that being said, we are running controls of tiering, and there will be an incursion. So I was going to say rebellion, unless my peasants are actually all greenskins, which I don't think is the case. I'm just going to leave my army here because, as we've been saying, I'm going to go down the chivalric code. I'm going to go for the Green Tide Decree. Yeah. Because I get big bonuses versus the greenskins, but I also get a lot of chivalry every time I crush their skulls, which, trust me, is going to happen quite a lot.
And that's, that's something that you want to get, because each time you progress up the chivalry bar, you're going to gain new benefits, new bonuses, and the best one of all is going to be the Green Knight. So each time you progress into the new bracket, he'll become available, and you'll be able to summon him to the campaign to take him to war.
For a limited time?
For a limited time only.
Yeah, you see, that I didn't get that at first. I was just like, where's he gone? I needed him. And I lost a settlement because I was kind of relying on him to be able to like hold the line. He is insanely powerful.
He's a proper tank.
Yeah, we'll jump on a custom game like literally just before we go off, and we'll show a bit of a Green Knight because he is pretty damn a powerhouse. It's like where else I'll be using cavalry to go around, I'm just sending him in by himself because he just tanks so much. And obviously it's kind of use them or lose them kind of situation. Yeah. But he does save you in what position.
He does, and he's there to fulfil the role that's in the law, where he'll appear in Bretonnia's hour of need, and then once that's sort of done, or in the case a number of turns have passed for us, then he'll disappear once more. But obviously with each time you're leveling up, you are able to call him in once more. So there's a set number of times you can use him in the campaign, and you're free to stack them. So maybe you don't want to use him in the early part of the game. Yeah. Maybe you want to save him till the end for the big showdown.
Big showdown. Oh, I did those in the quest battle because you can obviously you jump ahead on them, and painful. Someone saying I want to see the devs play on legendary. I don't get why people are such a glutton for punishment. Like I've been playing Total for since the very first, and I have never enjoyed playing on legendary. No, because it's just I love my sandbox and kind of playing, and as soon as it's legendary. By the way, if you guys play legendary, then fair play to you. Yeah, very good.
Absolutely.
But God, it's painful.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Absolutely.
So there's going to be an incursion in
anytime soon.
I'm going to keep them. I would usually my usual build at the beginning is I wipe off these 4 units, rebuild these ones. Okay, fair enough. And then I like my archers, but that's a strong line anyway, so all I need is a bit. But I'm gonna leave them back because I want to see what they're like in battle. Yeah, I mean with King Louen, because you've got those growl vows, because you've got those different skills, you can definitely do that and make use of those benefits. For the face, slightly different, and hopefully at the end of the week you'll be able to show off that different play style as well with her. Yeah, she's she's paper thin, but obviously starts with some very powerful spells early on. So yeah, orcs are turned up. They're not going to be much of a match for trebuchets, but we are feeling. They have the rock lobber, but it's nowhere near as good. I mean, we have about an hour and 20 minutes, and I don't want to just sit here and play too many battles. So we're going to play this one here, mainly to show off some of the units, and then we're going to see if we can get a bigger battle later down the line, and we'll jump in that. Because we can just end up playing 150 battles. But I've got a problem with that. We have a limited amount of time, and there's quite a lot going on in the campaign, especially in the early game. Yeah, I mean, let's see if we can get maybe, I don't know if we can, but let's see if we can get maybe up to the first 200 chivalry and maybe get the Green Knight himself. That's a great idea, and I think that will happen because, like I said, I'm going to take this watch off. Interferes in my micro. can't, there's a few things in the world which interfere with my ability to play. Guaranteed win now. Yeah, guaranteed win. Not that it was kind of in doubt before. Are you saying that you don't think I can win this? Is that what you're saying? I wanna check out your skills. I'm gonna gamble, right? I was in Vegas once and I didn't gamble. And that's why, because if I did, I wouldn't get anything. Snake eyes. Yeah, so I'm going to start deploying the most important unit in my army, the 2 trebuchets. Obviously. I am saying that kind of jokingly. They're good, but they're not like the most powerful.
No, that's the blessed version, right?
No. You
love that one, don't you?
I like the blessed one, yes. Right, okay, let's have a quick look at some of these units because they are amazing.
They are glorious. The artists have just done an amazing job on these guys.
So Knights Errant are your basic knights.
Yes.
These are the earliest ones you can get.
Yeah, they're sort of the young upstarts.
Mm-hmm. They're very useful. Anti-infantry. Obviously, we've got our lance formation.
Yes, we do.
Is that
yes.
lance for all of them?
Yes. I mean, not every single unit will have them. The yeomen won't have it, but the great knights will certainly have that at their disposal. And what that's going to allow you to do is get those meaty charges in, which is just going to cut through the essentially, wafer thin goblins and orcs, and really, rip them apart.
So obviously these are kind of the cheapest units you're going to get at the beginning. And then over here we've got Knights of the Realm, who are kind of the upgrade from that, and they're good anti-large.
These ones are good at taking on large, so yes, it gives them a different role on the battlefield. And they're a little bit more pricey, but they're definitely worth having.
Yeah, that's why I won that Chaos Quest battle, because I was paying attention to the fact that they're anti-large, where I think my friends weren't.
Not giving away spoilers or anything.
No. I'm sorry. So these are the Grail Knights, who are, well, put it this way, their lances are on fire, so
yes,
they're pretty damn good.
They have gone on their numerous quests, found the Holy Grail, and now just ready to defend Bretonnia with all their might.
So anti-large, they're Living Saints, or what does Living Saints give them?
So they're going to be immune to vigour, so they're going to be charging around the battlefield, not getting tired, which on horseback.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want,
Yeah, they're a great unit to have.
So these guys are going to be our power unit in this game.
Absolutely.
And obviously they've got the Blessing of a Lady, so that's...
yes, so that increases their physical resistance. Everybody else can gain the Blessing of the Lady, but these guys will have it by default.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas everybody else will be able to get it if their army is essentially heroic in combat and the Lady decides to bless them, these guys are just going to always have that.
And obviously we've got Pegasus Knights here. Where is Louen? There he is. Not his best mount. He will get better over time. And obviously a lot of people have already seen a lot of these units, and I think as our time is limited, let's get into a battle. And we've got archers as well. There are different types of archers. We've got fire and pox arrows.
Yes, we have.
Which I like.
Yeah, go on.
No, I don't even know where I was going.
Oh, okay.
You interrupted me so much I can't even remember.
I was going to say yes. So if you upgrade your farms in the campaign, that's how you're going to get the different variants of it. The ones with the fire and with the pox, and as you might imagine, the fire ones are going to do flaming damage, which is very useful for taking on the wood elves and sending Durthu to his ashes, and then the pox arrows, which are essentially poison. And that's going to be very, very useful at slowing people down and just...
As you would if you were vomiting everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, so are you going to compliment me on my trebuchet skills?
Let's see if you hit.
I hit... Yeah, come on!
Oh, right on the edge.
Yeah, I'm good at this. I really don't like spiders. Or catapults.
So you're going to... Oh, a little bit short.
No, well,
Give you a bit more oomph.
I'm going to stop now. Pressure. What's hitting me? Oh, they have artillery pieces as well.
Yeah, they got the rock haven't they?
Yeah, so luckily for us, they're going to try and flank us here. So I'm not going to use the best cavalry for this one, but we do have a slight advantage in quality over this orc army, so I'm going to make the most of that.
You're quite nice there, getting a nice big hill as well, to start on.
Oh, right down there. Into the spiders. No one likes spiders, do they? Those guys are...
Look at that, raining in. So yeah, the peasant archers have been reduced, as you might imagine, with us giving the different 2 new variants of it. So they're not quite as powerful as they were when you would have played the game last. But certainly with the new variants, that'll help round out things. Oh, there's your mob. Look at those guys.
Literally do have farmyard equipment to fight. But that's what you'd expect. You know, the one thing I love about this the most, just the area of fighting, is the scenery, because you get the castles in the background.
Yes.
They are the kind of most amazing kind of. Oh my god, I'm paying attention here. Aren't I?
I mean, yeah, if you weren't fighting, you know, spiders and goblins and things, it would feel very medieval, very, you know, Arthurian, I guess, with that kind of setting.
You're saying they didn't exist in that time period? I mean, we are a historical studio after all. We've got some facts about these times, I'm sure. So you can see peasants are going in with their farmyard equipment, especially plain over here, which in the spearman units, who are basically just using plows.
Yeah. It's crude stuff.
Yeah, but it works.
Yeah.
Like the billhook, for example, which very famous English weapon, has been used all over and was incredibly effective. So we're getting rid of rock lobber using our superior siege weapons in the trebuchet there. And get bonus onto good old lord. You can see he's not having much luck, this guy. But that's what happens when you got one of the best lords in the game, yeah?
Absolutely. And you know, Louen is never on foot. He's always going to be mounted. He's always going to have that bonus essentially over all the other starting lords in the game.
Yeah, see, we're just chasing off. So this is going to be a very short battle. We just want to show off some of the units here. I wondered where they went. That's actually slightly worrying.
Scuttling around.
Scuttling around. I'm going to pull my my lord out here to just get rid of these goblins. And then I'm going to have to run away with my my damsel, because that guy ain't too happy.
That's one hell of a chopper he's got there.
That is literally what she's saying.
Yeah.
Don't die, please. Please. Yeah, don't do that. I'm getting flashbacks of my my campaign, my quest battle playthrough at PC Gamer. But there you go, it's okay, because the Grey Knights are here, and they're definitely going to sort him out. And yeah, I don't think he's really got anything to worry about in this fight here. But
he's just going to pick him off over time.
I think that army is retreating and running now. As you would expect, the might of Bretonnia is on the field. So we're going to end that. So, decisive victory, obviously, Rich.
Obviously.
Do you ever have any doubt, except from I almost lost my my damsel?
No.
Damsel in distress, good one. It had to happen. You know, I kind of walk into that one. Yeah. Loads of people in chat said that. It wasn't just one person. I'm happy.
But she survived.
Yeah, and people asking how did the Grey Knights take so much casualties? It's because the rock lobber was firing at them while I was just sitting there looking at the pretty units.
So yeah, you'll see now, if you look at the top of the screen, your chivalry's gone up.
Yeah, so 10 to 25 now.
Yeah, so thanks to that nice little win, we're on our way.
So I'm going to finish off this army. So you're going to be doing a lot of this early on at the beginning. A lot of quelling of resistance. So the way I'm playing this, which is I don't bother putting my army back in the settlement. I welcome lack of control.
You just bring
I want to fight, you know?
Yeah.
So obviously I'm going to be going in here because I want to get some of these going. I mean, at the end of the day, I really want Chain Lightning and the Comet of Casadora. And okay, so we got 2 units of 2 skill points to use here. Now, my rule of thumb is to always put 1 into campaign movement, because I think that fixes all problems. It's pretty useful.
Very helpful.
I don't usually go down this route, but that's because of how I like to play. I'm quite aggressive. I like to be fighting, and I think that really fits with Bretonnia, because you want to be fighting as many battles as possible.
You want to be on the front foot. Yeah, I mean, personally for me, I do like the battle buffing skills there. They're really helpful in if you've got a number of peasants, just to sort of bring them up to scratch. Or you can buff things like their charge or their ammo output. There's all sorts of nice little bits and pieces to play around with there in that chain. Yeah,
and I think that's the one. This is the one I want the most, because I want to be able to get that leadership up and the melee defense of my lower tier units. So that's where I'm going to focus. So I always usually put in about 4 there. I get chivalric code because I mean you're going to be using cavalry all the time. Yeah. And then obviously things like obviously once again you get weapon strengths, and
There's a lot
the thing
of
is,
choice.
you can tailor it the way you want to play, basically,
Yeah,
which is obviously the foundation of Total War and Warhammer. So we're going to end this turn. Obviously, we're still at war with other two factions. They haven't really made too much of an appearance yet. I forgot we are at war with the
Norse.
Yeah, and we can go after them as well.
You can. You can indeed.
They are far from home, but maybe that is. There's so many ways you can play with Bretonnia. You can obviously focus on bringing all the other factions onto your banner. You can focus on kind of the wars with all the other slightly minor factions that are bordering the Bretonnians, or you can just go off.
Yeah, you can
and just seek fights.
You can don your winter coats and head up north, and there are some bonuses there to be had within the territory.
Yes, obviously suffering less attrition in chaos territories, and obviously immune to snow attrition as well. So you can tailor yourself to fight them. So,
and we've had some good scraps when we've been playing through this campaign, where you're off. You're trying to maybe conquer, Nordland and Marienburg and places, and all of a sudden, 3 Norse longships just come down and lay siege. It's quite scary.
I've had much worse, Rich. I've had beastmen. Okay,
yes, you can.
I'll give you a horrific scenario in the settlement down here, which I had alliance with. So that I'm controlling now. I have a nice little capital here. Obviously, it's one of the major provinces.
Yeah.
And I crushed an army of beastmen, but couldn't finish them off because obviously they're very difficult to find on the campaign map. So I moved my army back because I have chaos to deal with, and then they raised more troops and attacked the settlement. And before I could get there, they won the battle. I tried to defend it as best I could, lost, and then they raised the settlement.
Ooh, yeah.
And that hurt. That hurt a lot.
They will do that to you.
They're a constant thorn in your side.
Kazarak and Malagor, they're just.
I'm going to get these defensive lines because obviously you want to build up your diplomacy with these other factions as early as you can, because you can confederate with them.
You can
without having to go down the tech tree.
No, you do go down the tech.
You have to do it together.
Go down the tech tree, but you can have all the other agreements with them. You can get all the other nice bits and pieces.
Okay. So I've got a chance here to go for melee attack. I'm going to go for protecting citizens, mainly because we're on defense. So if I want to eventually get any of these factions, I have to unlock these first.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're going to go down there, but
it is literally written on there, so I should have been paying more attention.
But I mean, to be fair, right, when you get to the end and you can federate all of those dukedoms, you're going to get, you're going to have 3 legendary lords at your disposal.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. And I'm looking forward to the playtest tomorrow because I love a certain general. Where is he?
There he is.
Yeah.
The servant of Manan.
I do like him quite a lot. He's the fact that actually, when I come to play the Bretonnians, he's my go-to. But then they have such. We'll get to that tomorrow. I think you've come across while I was playing one of that battle, and I was just like, right, I'm going to try and win this like really early on, and it went disastrously wrong. Okay, so I'm going to auto-resolve these ones, and you can see my damsel is getting very close to dying. So
I know the way.
I don't want to die in an auto-resolve. It just happened.
I take my lead.
My worry is I don't know where this orc army is.
Ooh,
I don't know where that orc army is. And I'm paranoid because I've had a bad situation with this before.
Yes.
So as I was telling you before we went on camera, I don't want that to happen again because it will make me look terrible.
Certain characters are certainly making use of the old ambush, aren't they?
So, I'm going to go for Wind Blast because that's quite useful. And once again, we've got another skill point here. And we are going to go down the lowborn militia because it's just so
That's very useful.
I'm going to get rid of these 3 troops here. See, my economy starts to get a little bit better, but not for long because I'm going to then recruit.
It's not buffing them up with some better kitted out guys.
5 units of those guys.
Nice.
And going to go for the Grey Mountain Watch, and that will give us plus 10 leadership in subterranean battles, plus 10 weapon strength against greenskin tribes, which is insane, and plus 3 chivalry for every victory against any of the greenskin tribes.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm not going to be friends with any of them after this. No. But that's okay.
But it's fine because you're going to have those wandering savage orcs turning up from time to time.
Yes.
So it's all good preparation.
Yep. think I'm so used to having Savage Orcs and Beastmen turn up now, but I there's no peace. There's only war between them.
Champion of the
So,
ladies.
I still don't know where they are. Just gonna put myself here just in case.
It's almost like you're farming like the peasants, James.
Well, that is pretty much. I think the early game is a bit of you can choose to farm these orcs, or you can do what you want. But I'm gonna farm them up. They get progressive if you allow them. If you don't attack them straight away, they start recruiting a lot bigger armies.
They will.
I just
They will.
zoomed past the Blessing of a Lady there. This is what happens when you play too much Total War Rich. You just go through everything without paying any attention.
You know where it all is. Yeah.
So we got the Blessing of Lady here.
Yeah. So now your entire force has now been blessed by the lady, which will give them all the physical resistance, basically, and you'll have that as long as you don't retreat from a fight.
Yeah.
Or obviously if you're defeated. So the honourable, chivalrous thing to do is just to always be on the front foot, always going to battle and to rid these lands of all the enemies of Bretonnia.
So, for example, guys, if I was sieging Marienburg down here, and I'd been building siege weapons or whatever, and then I decided not to fight that battle and retreat and lift the siege, I would lose the Blessing of the Lady.
You would.
So
And
keep that in
you
mind.
can see it in play now with nice kind of effect just hovering over Louen.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
See, that's why you're here, Rich.
So you can, maybe when you've got a few armies, you can see who's been blessed or who's not.
So obviously we start to get into territories now where some of the more unique skills are coming up. So Crown of Bretonnia, +5 leadership for Lord's army, which is very useful. I'm going to go for that a bit later, but focusing down on getting this.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just an extra bonus on what we've
You
already
seek
got.
the lady's favor.
So I mean, this is just one way of playing it, right?
Indeed.
You can farm the orcs, farm the goblins, build up your characters, and then obviously once the incursions have stopped, go about your business. But you don't have to do that. You can go right for the snake's head if you want to, which will stop all these problems for
I go for
the turns that we're fighting now. So you do, there's a couple of choices if you're man enough, let's say, to.
And how would I
Go
go about
again,
that? How would I do that? Would I?
So as long as you're quick off the mark, and you cobble yourself a good force, and you want to fight that battle in the mountains, you can definitely take them on and crush them.
That sounds very ominous, and it's almost like something I've done for another Bretonnian faction, which didn't go to plan. As you can see, Marienburg are trying to be annoying, and annoying they are, as they have now an army over here threatening my weak settlement, which garrison force-wise is literally almost
don't
nothing.
want to lose that.
No, because obviously we do right now. That's our only field, so only farming is coming in fair. Also, all our trade is coming in from here.
Yes.
So if we lost this settlement, it would be an absolute disaster, as I found out.
Well worth protecting.
Yeah, but now we're in an awkward position. He's offering me a peace treaty.
So they are merchants, so
I'm going to take it because
I think they're
that could have happened if I didn't.
Wow.
Well, I only moved down there because of our army, so that's okay. So obviously we've got an incursion still, but right now we get big bonuses against the orcs, so this should be nice and easy.
my journey begins.
I go hence.
Mop those guys up.
That's the plan.
And keep leveling up and keep building up the chivalry nicely.
So right now we're dealing what 105.
And if you were to hover over next time you're back in the campaign over the helmet of the knight just up there on the top of the screen,
Hello.
that will give you a breakdown of. So this is going to explain to you exactly how you're getting all the chivalry, whether it's through technologies, conquering settlements, traits. It will show both the negative and the positive ones as well. So that'll be a nice way for you to familiarise yourself with where it's all coming from and what you can do to get more.
Well, so far, doing quite well on the decisive victories. I should expect with me playing.
Wow.
That's a very good play. The Ladies Champion, obviously this is a very useful ability to have. So I'm going to get that. It's just like, I like having Raleigh like really early on. I'm going to go for it, because obviously everyone loves a bit of regen.
I have seen you. I shall
Affecting our
seek
nuclear
great
quicker.
New tech. What are you going to go for? What does everyone think at home?
Yeah, guys, how would you? But you don't know because you haven't played yet, so you don't even know. Like, you don't know the challenges that are ahead. I mean,
are you guys chivalrous? You know, do you want to focus down that route, or do you want to be like a proper Lord of Bretonnia and work those peasants into the ground?
Look at you role-playing this one. Role-playing the question, Rich. Okay, should we go economic and look after our lands, or should we just focus on crushing some skulls? Sod it, says someone. We are noobs, says someone else. War on the north. I like the idea of a war on the north. I really like the idea of a war on the north. You know what? Work those presents, screw in the presents. Right, we're going to go for a war on the north.
Nice.
Which means, first of all, I'm going to get this one here, because we need to get rid of that chaos attrition. Which, is it chaos? Yeah, corruption there, and also snow, so that's going to be fun. It's going to take a while to confederate, guys, and we don't have that much time. If we had more time, we would confederate with everyone, but it's not. I might actually load up a save of one of the games so we get a bit further ahead tomorrow, but obviously we didn't have time to. Well, I did, but the build I'm playing is a different one from the one I have here, so I couldn't quite.
Oh, so here you go. Louen's got one of the traits that we spoke about.
A very useful one as well.
Indeed.
A lot of control.
Definitely.
I am the law.
Yeah, and what we've done here, what we've done here with the Bretonnia ones is, as you can see just beneath the mouse cursor, we've explained to you how you'll getting these traits as well. So this is specific to Bretonnia.
Okay. You do know what I want to be doing right now. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but the chances of Googling, I'm going on YouTube and finding Judge Dredd?
Yes.
And I'm pulling up I Am the Law, as chat is now doing.
There they do.
Just a little step behind, but that's fine. Judge Louen. I like that. That might be his new nickname on stream. Alright. So we still have 8 more turns of minus control, which isn't a bad thing.
And you haven't gone over your peasant cap either, so you're
not at all.
Staying within budget.
Staying within budget, yes, definitely.
I mean,
peasants on money.
Well, they are.
Well, they are technically. That's how I get all my my money. So we've got the gleaming pennant here. I'm going to put that on. He's going to be my front line, so he might as well be there anyway. Auto resolve. Nice, easy victory. James, upgrade your city, you peasants. I mean, I should probably do that. Yes. Okay. So, see. So I can obviously keep upgrading my town, but the reason I would upgrade here is because I can get the watermill.
Yeah, the windmill to sort of boost the farm. I think that's a very good plan, especially now that you don't have those guys coming in from behind. Yes.
Which is obviously then that increase my fields and my economy as well, and growth as well. So I'm going to do that.
You require magic.
See, chat. That's why we're here to teach you about that.
Lady's chosen.
Finally, I am going to go for that because it's obviously going to be useful in pretty much every single battle in the future.
Absolutely.
Once again, crushing these orcs.
I mean, that's the nice thing about Louen, that he can support, both the cavalry, the nobility and the peasantry. Certainly with the other choices like Alberic, he's totally focused on the knights. Doesn't really care too much for the peasantry at all, as you'll see.
I've done, he is easily one of the best, like all-round legendary lords, especially for Bretonnia, just able to do what you need. I like that. Yes, please. And I want to trade with you as well, if that's okay with you, Marienburg.
Definitely.
Because they are good traders. A strange mist rolls down from mountains. Ooh. Well, I'm losing control for 2 turns, but that's okay. I think I just skipped over.
And the quest.
And the quest has come up. So I have 3 knights around my army. And then I get to recruit some stuff. So I can't do that right now because I haven't got enough room. So I'm going to have to build a new building to get that. My economy is not great. I'm holding up. I've got a lot of expensive units.
Yeah, you've got a few cabbage patches supporting
pretty much
some knights, haven't you?
But it's okay. We've got all the time in the world. And obviously, every time we win a battle, you do get a bit of money from battle. From all the loot.
And we're inching ever closer to the Green Knight himself.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's a good point. We gotta pull him out and fight. Yes, they give me money, so I like that. Yes, I know I'm gonna get an incursion.
Oh, they've been working hard.
Store the surplus, you know, get some growth for 10 turns plus 20. That is good. I think that's going to be very useful. And those orcs are still at war with us.
Getting some nice veterancy I see there on your knights as well.
Damn right.
So what can the Empire
They've been killing a lot of stuff, so definitely helps. So yeah, starting to trade a bit more, a lot of people, and soon we'll have a lot more control. It's probably the second last. I think we'll probably get one more orc incursion after this, and then we can start going on the offensive, Rich.
Absolutely. Spreading our wings.
You see, I like the money, but I don't like chaos corruption in my province.
You don't want to dabble with chaos?
No dabble with chaos for me. I get too much chaos in my life. I don't need more of it. Chaos of microphones not working.
Oh yeah.
They're not going to give me enough money for that.
Look at that.
So that is
those
just a
traits.
lot of trait upgrades there. And
Making my way.
this on me.
smite
Don't want to
them?
die. There we go. Finishing off that Night Goblin
Making
army.
my way.
I speed through them too quick. I'm so sorry. It's a force of habit. So we got a speed potion there.
But not long now, and then all you guys can enjoy it and take your
Yeah.
time about it.
28th is coming out for everyone, and it is free.
Absolutely free.
Please remember that. I think some people have been trying to have fun and saying it costs money. It doesn't. It's free.
Nope.
Stop triggering us. It's free. I am going to go for aura size because that's always useful. All right, we have 4 more turns of it, so I think probably 1 more after this, and then we're good. You don't lose so much money by executing. Yeah, but if we were to sell them, we would lose chivalry.
You would. So, there's going to come a point where you do need to boost your funds and probably do that.
King Louen.
Yeah, so you want to be building up that chivalry as much as possible. The bonuses you start getting later down the line are really, really good. I mean, by the time you get to 800, 1,000, you're dealing with, those are huge bonuses there.
Yes.
I mean, unit experience for all turns is crazy. Unit experience for Bretonnia Knights when recruited, and just obviously the corruption being kept down, and leadership and Green Knights.
But you're going to need
huge.
that. You're going to need that when you're.
Oh yes.
Get into that cataclysmic end.
So we're going to go for the windmill here, which is going to increase income and growth, which is what we need. And down here we're going to go for these because we're going to go and fight the northern tribes when we can. Someone's saying you can get it on Amazon for 10 shekels. Not true. Send me your shekels. Don't send Amazon your shekels. Thanks. So this is going to be the last one, I think.
For the
I hope.
lady.
Easy.
We do have almost what is a kind of veteran force of
We
cav
do,
and
we
commander
do.
now. So
Just a good training field for
The
your
lady's chosen.
expeditions later on, isn't it?
indeed. So obviously I'm going to give her a warhorse because she almost didn't make it out alive in her last fight. So let's make sure that doesn't happen again. So over here, obviously we've got quite a few abilities in here, and now I'm going to start focusing on getting. It's between getting that one because obviously that's useful,
Yeah.
but
You want? Yeah.
15. Okay, so I'll wait until I'm 14 before I start putting
Oh,
anything in there.
Beaky.
You see, I like him when he's on just a standard mount.
Mhm.
I like Pegasus, but I would rather just go straight for
Yeah.
that. It's my go-to, so I'll increase size again. So, finally, 2 turns from now, all that is over, and
Oh,
while we're doing
hello.
this, trying to get a stables,
Yeah.
because we need that.
Yeah. We need to get some knights available to us.
We're upgrading our port as well.
Yeah.
Someone says capture Jerusalem. You're wrong universe. But we do have plenty of knights.
Right. So
Leoncoeur.
the time has come.
Pretty much one
The
more turn.
Green Knight is here.
Ooh. All right. So first I need to find an army to fight, and these orcs here look like they're going to be a good sacrifice for that. So we're not going to recruit him just yet, but he's close.
Building up the tension.
Building up attention. How are the other settlements looking, James? What on my battle map, soon to be destroyed or captured? But then again, if you sack, you lose chivalry
So
as well.
it all depends on who you're sacking and raiding.
Ah, okay.
So obviously, if you go and
my right.
raise a human settlement to the ground, like a Bretonnian settlement or an empire, that's not a chivalrous thing to do. So you're gonna hear about that. It's you know.
So don't do that.
But if you say take on the vampires or the greenskins, then that is an honourable thing to do. You want to rid the land of these foul creatures, so you will gain chivalry for doing that.
So what you're saying is do that.
Yeah.
Deal. So, beloved sons of Bretonnia, has that been changed at all from what it was like previously?
We have been tweaking them here and there. Oscar has been working his magic and dabbling in the arts, and everything's had a once over.
So that's obviously definitely a very useful one, and I'll be keeping that. It's easily one of the better abilities I think you can pick up. And see, I can upgrade my farm now. Actually, it's a field. Now it's a farm. There you go, James. You got it correct after all.
Cabbage farm.
Cabbage farm. Well, peasants got to eat something. So potatoes or cabbage. So you know.
Yeah.
Marienburg, they want defensive alliance. It's kind of weird. Luckily, they're already at war with the Empire, so it doesn't make it awkward for me. I need the money, and we're playing a short campaign.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna jump in that. We still have just under 45 minutes, so we do have plenty of time.
Farewell.
Well, the incursions are over now, as you can see. We have a decent economy. I wouldn't say it's amazing. So what I'm going to do to speed that along is I'm going to delete some units and give a kickstart to our peasants, send them back to their fields. Obviously, they still have 2 manning our trebuchets. We can't get rid of them. They are the superior siege weapon of the era. And I'm going to get that built.
Manned by 5 guys.
I wondered, I was thinking that it was going to be me who did that, but I'm kind of happy it was you. I use
I don't know what you're talking about.
I use 5 guys as a way to troll a co-worker on a regular basis when we're at events. So I'm happy, but it's not. It's leaving just me now being a troll. It's becoming the rest of us. Obviously, over the weekend we were playing Make War Not Love, where we won. So now everyone is going to get the experience Isabella von Castine on the campaign map.
And she's fabulous, and
she is fabulous.
Yeah, and we've obviously decoupled Vlad as well. So coupled Vlad with Isabella, but decoupled from the vampire counts. So the great thing there is now it's own starting location. You can be, the true originator essentially of the vampire count, and one nice thing that you can do is you can be the puppet master of Manfred.
Yeah.
Put him in his place.
Put him in his place, and obviously they get amazing bonuses for being working with each other, and more importantly, you get 2 legendary lords on the battlefield
right
within
off the bat.
1 turn, which
Wow.
is insanely powerful when you think about it. Because no one else can feel that kind of power on the battlefield early on. And you have a really good starting position.
They are inseparable though, so
No, that's true.
That's why they're there.
Even in death. So, pimples and brown spots, what's going on?
Oh, there's some of the new dilemmas that we've got, and as you'll probably see, they hang around for a little while as well. So there's
10 turns.
Yeah,
none of the events that come up in this seem to be short.
No, we've deliberately made them longer so that there's more of a choice to be had now. If it's only lasting for a couple of turns or three turns, you can normally just sort of bat them away. But now you've got to do some serious head scratching,
because some of them really can affect your armies. Because some of them increase leadership for your infantry and your cavalry, and also can raise up the upkeep of knights. And if that comes to your knights, and your main source of your punching power is your knights, that can be your economy gone for several turns.
Yeah, you can certainly get them at some awkward times, and I think we've all experienced that as we've been testing that out.
Yes. I've shouted at my screen like, where's my money gone? Right, I'm going to close the gates on this because first of all, I don't like pimples and brown spots, and I like my growth, so I'm going to take the economic hit but keep the growth going.
Okay.
It's about 350 a turn loss there. That's okay though. My damsel here, hello.
Still not looking very happy, is she?
No, she's not. She's got that look on her face. Big disgrace. Give them this turn. Economics certainly isn't their thing. That is true. I don't think it is.
No.
Alright, so we have on avant-garde there. And chaos is stirring. Every time when we were launching, every single time that came up, Joey would sit there and read the entire thing out, and she wouldn't let me skip it. It got to the point that even if I did skip it, she would remember it off by heart.
That's impressive.
Which, yeah, but after 3 weeks of hearing it, it starts to get into your dreams. Well, once again, we're mocked our vows, so we can either reprimand them or ignore it. This is huge, especially after we just took a 1
I know.
on our economy. So I can either, for 10 turns, minus 80 on my trade, or minus 25 for cavalry units leadership, which is huge.
And that's all you got now, isn't it? Pretty much.
I'm going to take the... I'm going to... Should I reprimand them or should I ignore it? Please tell me, chat. Make the decision. Do we sod it or honour it?
You've been pretty unlucky here, getting
two in a
back
row.
to back. I mean, it doesn't tend to happen.
I'm expecting chat just to spam orcs and say sod it. I mean, that's usually their reaction to pretty much all questions. Or eat them, which is another one. Reprimand is one of them. Reprimand. Yeah, finally someone went for that. All right. Reprimand. Where's my economy going? There's it going, even smaller. So, and I'll take that hit while that's going on. How many turns do I have to wait to get that? That's a lot of money, but that's fine because we need to get some knight errands up to actually have a bit more
Absolutely.
power. Unlimited power, you could say. Actually, no, we've got a good cavalry force. Maybe I shouldn't worry so much. And at this point here, the economy isn't great. Alright, I'm going to do one more turn. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to start putting some into economic investment.
Especially been hit so bad.
Yeah, definitely.
He's going to hit, small little help.
Yeah, every little helps.
Yeah.
You know. I haven't done that in a while. And then I'm going to start raising some peasant troops here because it's time for them to leave their fair home and their fields. Because we were getting some nice bonuses up here for having them work in the fields. So, obviously we've got men of arms with shields, and we've got... by the way, I'm yawning, not because I'm streaming or anything, but this room, 100% sure, I know this up to like a year and a half now, it's very dry because of where it is.
Yeah.
So when you talk, you start yawning.
And it is like,
once,
and it is like
stop.
being in an Essex tanning salon as well, isn't it?
Well, Rich, tell me all about these Essex tanning salons, because I have never been in one.
Wow.
So apparently it's just like this.
Yeah, just like this.
I've seen how much they cost.
They
as
are
well.
bright lights.
Yeah, well, very bright lights. Yeah. Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I take my lead.
So that is sneaky move by the orcs there. My economy is not great right now. I'm going to recruit. I'm like counting in my head. There you go. Now I get the warning. There are more peasants in your armies than your factory can sustain. So
it's just going to be a small hit though. So that's the one good thing with the peasant economy. It's going to build over time. The more peasants you go over by, the more damaging it's going to be to you. So the first few rounds, you can sustain that. It's not going to be too crippling.
yeah.
You'll lose the buffs that you've got, and it will start to go negative. But you can certainly play around with that and feel comfortable that every once in a while I might go for a few extra peasants here and there.
So it's definitely one of those things where you can take the hit for a while, but it's not something you can do long term. So in a lot of cases, but that was perfectly that is what the chivalric system was like.
Absolutely.
You raise your troops. Yes, okay, you're taking an economic hit, but you need them for a battle. Hence why, for example, 1066. they'd raised a large army from around here, from Sussex,
not too far away.
was waiting
Yes.
for the Duke of Normandy to land. He didn't turn up in the correct season when they usually would,
No.
so he sends all his peasants back to work their farm, and then all of a sudden there's an invasion of the north. He rushes north, and then Duke of Normandy lands, and so on. So very much how medieval armies did fight.
Yeah.
And there is a feel of medieval when you're playing this game. You do get that kind of classic feel. So we have a trade.
I mean, that is Bretonnia through and through.
Yeah. So we're going to do it. We're going to raise our legendary knight, the Green Knight. And there he is.
There he is.
And he's got all his skills already?
Yeah, so he's essentially the top hero that he could possibly be. All the skills, all the abilities, that's all there. So you just he's kitted out. He is tanked up.
You can't obviously add anything to him.
No.
But you can see
So he's always
how
going to
he
be
is.
there on Shadow Steed, his trusty mount, and he's got a unique ability, which is his magical blade, the Dolorous Blade, and that's going to essentially increase his weapon damage and his melee attack for a short period of time.
Alright, so we're going to try and catch this orc army. Got a feeling they were going to do that, but that's okay, because they can't run forever. Well, they can, but I hope they don't. So while they're away, I'm going to upgrade to a landed estate here. So constantly increasing my peasants and my money, which is what I need. Why did someone just put... Yeah, medieval Pegasus. Yeah. It's still fantasy, guys.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's one of these events that comes up, which is kind of and I hit this one by accident once, and it really hurt me. Because obviously we're talking about upkeep of cavalry here.
Good job, Alan, by the way.
What did Alan do?
Alan did these.
Oh, Alan did these. I thought Alan was in chat.
No.
I thought Alan was in chat going,
No.
well, hello, you know.
No.
But yeah, these are obviously very useful. Like if you were fighting lots of very close battles and you had the money stored up, and you could take this. But if you were like on the line here, it would be a very difficult one to do. Obviously, there's a big bonus here, but obviously a big hit as well in recruitment. So
yeah, I mean we've got a nice mix. We've got some negative ones, some of a mix, and also some positive. So you should see a good suite of them throughout your campaign.
People were saying reprimand. It's not the same one. I'm going to go for let them hunt because it doesn't damage me in any way. And if you see my economy right now, or lack of, you see that is the safe route to go. So this is a problem for me because these guys won't fight. So I'm going to see if join war against these guys. I will join your war here. No?
One other thing to mention, guys, is so when you do recruit the Green Knight, you might wonder, where's he going to turn up? So if your legendary lord of your faction is around, he's going to spawn right next door to him. And if he's taking a nap, if he's been wounded, then he's going to spawn at your capital. So you're free to move around the campaign game world and then bring him right into the forefront of your battle with whoever you're up against.
I'm not so worried about this orc army anymore. It's kind of dying to attrition. I'm going to go after their settlement.
I'm going to say, just go and trash it.
I'd be scared if someone else had the Green Knight. So yeah, we're going to do that. Marienburg won't like me, but to be honest, I don't really like Marienburg anyway. But because chivalry is important, let's see if they will.
Oh, very green.
That actually, I found that from what I've been playing, is everyone's so much more receptive to treaties, especially military access, which universally I've always had trouble getting the AI to give me military access.
Well, they are if you stay on the good side of the code of honour, basically. But if you go back, for instance, to the diplomacy screen, and I'm not saying do it, but if you were to go and declare war on, say, Bastogne there, then
you're saying declare war on Bastogne.
I'm not saying declare war on Bastogne, but if you do it,
you've just told me to declare war on.
If you look at this tooltip here, just here, there you go.
Ooh, okay.
It's pretty spicy, eh?
So pretty spicy, yeah. That is spicy peppers in my 5 guys. That brings me down. Like,
yeah. So
Yeah.
there might be a time you need to do that. But yeah, it will hurt.
200, like right now,
Yeah.
like that would bring me all the way
Yeah.
down, and no, I'm all right, Rich.
Yeah.
But I'm happy I didn't take your advice there. So don't declare war on
No,
other
don't.
Bretonnia factions unless you're willing to take the hit. Ow, yeah, I'm not doing that. If you were playing this on a co-op or head-to-head campaign, and you would start racing to confederate the other faction.
Yeah.
I think that would be like a really, really fun kind of like challenge. Because then who would declare war on each other first? By the way, I love playing multiplayer campaigns. It's like one of my favorite. We'll do one on stream someday. We toyed the idea of doing one, but the problem would be there'd be a lot of downtime in between turns.
There would be
a lot of waiting for someone else. So we don't. Our idea is it probably wouldn't be too palatable to stream, but when we have a bit more time, might just throw it out there, see how it goes. Obviously, get maybe a YouTuber or a streamer on there and give it a go. Mainly because I honestly think I don't think enough people play the multiplayer campaign. It's so much fun.
It's fun with these guys. Like if you play as Louen and say I played as the Fae, it really is a race for Albrecht, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get him. Whoever gets to use his skills in battle is really worth doing.
So we'll look at doing that. And we do have a streamer actually. We'll have more about that in the next few days. Who's going to be doing a co-op or a head-to-head campaign, and I'm interested to see how they play that one out. So as you can see, our economy is quite well. It's had better days, and it's also had good days. So I've got happy merchants along with protective vows and a quarantine going on, but I have upgraded my things up all the way up to a landed estate. And I do also have myself a water mill, and I do have a port upgraded, and here are all my military buildings here, and I've got
Got a nice
going
little
well.
smithy.
It's a nice little kingdom. I like it. I'm worried that those orcs will come back, but until then, I think I'm going to have to crush their home.
Absolutely.
Grunt Zink.
Yeah.
Okay. Orcs pretty good. Why only 2 players? What, for multiplayer campaign? Because that's just how it works. I can't. Personally, I have no idea what the difficulties would be, but I can't imagine that doing anything more than 2v2, 1v1 or co-op would be an absolute nightmare. But anyway, okay.
For another day, maybe.
For another day.
You seek counsel for glory.
That's a very small army, but we want to show off the. How long have we got? We got enough. We want to. I think we can win this battle with just our lords.
Yeah.
I think we should do that. Because I want to show off the Green Knight. Co-op is for, I'm not going to say that word, but multiplayer duel. Like, head-to-head is so much fun. Because you can... So many battles that you play when you're playing against the AI early are kind of... You will win, unless you're bad or the difficulty is really high. But as soon as a human player is playing them, they start doing really annoying things.
Ball game.
Like, okay, I know that I am going to lose against this army. Say they had a comparable force, but it was weak. But I also know that these Grail Knights are really important, or your damsel is really important. So I would not play to win the battle, but I'd play to kill those heroes, because it would just hold back the rest of your campaign. And that's what I've done in a lot of games previously. I did a lot in Napoleon. It was one of my go-to things. I'm going to tell these trebuchets to stop firing, because otherwise they would absolutely murder everything. And it's going to be the Green Knight, and I'll keep her back in reserve.
The heroes of Bretonnia.
I'm going to gamble. Am I going to win this time? Yeah, no, come on, Susie. You're so unlucky. Every time you're here,
even less.
You turn up and like I just can't.
You don't need
catch
magic.
a break.
You don't need magic with those guys. You'll be fine.
Well, I think we know who's faster here. Green Knight is.
Yeah, and he looks amazing. Just that ethereal horse beneath him, and the glowing eyes on the shield that he holds.
This is slow-mo, and he's still going pretty quick.
And a nice little touch there by the art team when they put the fleur-de-lis on the back of the saddle there. I don't know if you noticed that. Really nice little touch.
He's catching up. Yeah, and I do have the you want to pronounce that
The
one?
the Dolorous Blade.
The Dolorous Blade.
Yes.
So that's a massive increase for melee attack and weapon damage. Huge, in fact.
Yep.
Well, this is how I'm going to have fun and just... Oh, the trebuchets are firing anyway. I just didn't care.
Your peasants ignored you.
Yeah, well, they'll be reprimanded later, as is everyone else. And I think I'm going to bring a unit of Grail Knights and my Pegasus Knights as well. So he's really good at hunting down other heroes as well.
He is.
He's like incredibly powerful. You see, he's just like big splash damage as well.
I mean, if you're unfortunate to say have a Beastman Warherd turn up, he can go toe to toe with the likes of Kazarak and obviously people like Malagor as well. But yeah, taking on Kazarak, the Green Knight, is great fit for that.
Because that does happen a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of Beastmen do turn up, and especially in the later parts of this campaign, they are an absolute nightmare.
And that's another thing that Bretonnia's now got as a great sort of benefit is that aerial power. So
Yeah.
I mean, Pegasus Knights were pretty good, but now the fact that they've got the royal version, just that elite,
Oh God, yeah.
elite version of them.
They're insanely powerful. By the way, he also causes terror, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
against orcs and beastmen,
Yeah.
the Green Knight is like incredibly powerful. And even against other human factions
Yeah.
as well. Like pretty much everyone you're going to fight, except from vampire counts, you're going to be able to cause so much damage by
Yeah.
using cause terror. So that's great. So you see that.
Just go around aggroing everybody, yeah.
Yeah, so he's devastating. And it doesn't cost you anything except from your chivalry.
Yeah, well, you've got to build up your shit.
Obviously you've got to build up your chivalry.
Yeah, you've got to get there, but yeah, once you have him, he's amazing, and he will be there in multiplayer, custom battles as well for everyone to try out, and obviously he costs a fair chunk of cash.
For good reasons.
Yes.
So that is a summon. So if I sack, I get minus 30 on my chivalry.
You do.
If I raise, plus 30.
Yeah. So it's just whether you want that money or if you want the chivalry.
I want money. I'm going to take the hit,
Louen
and
Leoncoeur.
then I'm next turn, I'm coming back. My big worry right now is that he moves straight north. But I did just take a load of money, and if that happens, then I will raise a new army quickly. Obviously, what level am I in? 13? That's 15.
Getting close.
Very close. Go back into that as well.
I think you're safe from those orcs. I mean, they're taking some nasty attrition down there as well. So
These units are amazing. We're gonna do this on a how much time we got. So in about 10 minutes we're gonna go into the custom battle and we're gonna have a look at large units. And these guys are easily my favourite.
they're brilliant, aren't
And
they?
I've only been able to use them in like 2 battles so far. Actually, my 2 favourites are obviously the Royal Hippogriff Knights and Questing Knights.
Yeah,
You know why?
They're awesome.
Big swords. There's something about having a giant
They're
sword
awesome.
and horseback.
They're
It just
awesome.
really does it. Obviously trebuchets.
And they just play such a different role as well for the standard Bretonians with the lances. And I love all the treasure chests or like the drawers that they have on the back of the horses as well. That just looks ridiculous.
Yeah, they do look like they're off on
on a jolly.
quest. Off to find that tanning salon that you were talking about. You know?
That's the one.
So obviously, a tanning salon here. Easy bow, and this time I think it is fair to say we're going to get to raise it.
Yeah.
The lady and my right.
So everyone's in chat is just like, oh well, you just did one, then did the other. Sometimes, depending on where you are in your campaign, you don't have enough time to do any of that. Like you gotta either win the battle and destroy and leave because you're being threatened elsewhere. Especially when you start confederating like the rest of this territory. Like okay, you've got the mountains here, which are so useful to choke as choke points for the inevitable chaos legions. But these territories here start to become like really lightly defended, and then beastmen and greenskins start popping in.
Just run through, don't they?
Yeah, and you've got to be
But
very,
you know,
very careful.
what you did do there, okay, albeit you raised and then you've gone back and you sacked, you are obviously building up in the trait system that you're a bit of a dishonourable chap. So, you know, you might find that in the future that you don't get so many chivalrous traits quite so soon.
Yeah, so obviously because I've been doing so well recently, These traits are huge. Like, they're massive. Are they, I swear these are bigger than some of the ones you get on the other factions. It feels like it, at least.
Yeah, there's some really, really strong.
Obviously,
effects
because
in
it's a
there.
lot more noticeable because I'm
Yeah.
paying attention
Yeah.
to chivalry as well.
Yeah.
Everything else is good right now. I like it. Okay, that. I wonder if I'll declare war on them now because they don't actually have a settlement. No, I don't have peaceful union.
Welcome, friends. Let's
Whoops,
hope
almost
we
declared
can
war on them.
come to an accommodation.
Don't want to do that.
No.
I'll give you some cash because I don't want to send my army all the way down there. No, okay, that's fine with me. Right. We have a bit of time. We can go north, or I guess we could start showing off some of the armies. So, guys in chat, I'm going to give you guys a chance to make a decision here. Would you like us to go north and get maybe one more battle in this campaign, or shall we go into custom and show off some of these units?
Farewell.
So let us know in chat what you want to do. It's probably just going to be a load of people spamming sod it and reprimand, which seems to be the thing now.
Followed by Eaton.
Away.
Yeah, pretty much. Custom. That is a lot of custom. Okay. Yeah.
Point taken.
I made the mistake sometime with letting chat say something, and it is just like spam one word. I get the point. Like, even they must know it now. But you see, the thing is, because I know what these guys are like, so I've dealt with them for a while, and they're all lovely people, except from some of them, in the nicest possible way. We'll continue to do it because they know it rounds me up. It's like they call me the whenever I play any game now, they just say I'm salty all the time, which is only half true. Actually, one of the ideas for stream is that we just turn behind here into a massive, kind of like the Iron Throne, but just salt throne, which I would sit on. So there we go.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I got there in the end. You know.
I mean, I do love the Wood Elves,
Yeah.
but
He knows
you know,
he's in trouble, right? I always thought that the undead were very, you know, straight-faced, completely don't really pay too much
Not
attention
that one.
to the artist behind them, but that one is giving us an action shot and a half.
There's some
So
real soul there, yeah.
So here we go. Obviously, I was playing around with Carstein. Just make sure that the one thing that always makes me worried about all these things is that I am playing, which I am. I'm going offline now, so don't try and message me vulgar things while I'm doing custom battle. It does happen. Right, let's pick a.
So I was going to say, has anyone got any questions regarding Bretonnia? Is there anything that you want to know about?
That is something I really should do. I do have.
I mean, maybe you missed a bit earlier, or I don't know.
Well, I always miss something. Saltbert, that's a good point. But yeah, throw us out some questions, guys. We have Rich here who answer almost everything. If you're asking about places to eat around the London Olympia, he has some good suggestions. I'm sure, you know.
Thanks to your knowledge base.
Yeah, well, you know, I've got one track mind sometimes, you know, I can't really help it, Rich.
No.
So here we go. I am going to go large customs, and I'm going to go. I don't know why 5 is on the.
I don't know.
Oh, well, that's a lot of money. And so yeah.
Let's get some.
So how would you build your insane custom army here?
How would I build it? Well, I'd definitely start with some guys. I think if we were
This inside joke is getting legs of its own. 5 legs altogether.
Oh yeah. Some foot. So obviously foot squad. It depends on who we're up against,
Well,
right? Who
our
are we gonna
lord.
fight?
We're going to get a lord. We're obviously going to go for King Louen, and we're going to get his all his abilities here.
Absolutely.
Which is an insane amount.
And
altogether, he
Beaky.
costs almost 3,000 here with all his abilities and his main upgrades. So he is easily one of the most expensive.
he is.
He is, or is almost like Oscar. If you're watching, is he the most expensive?
He is top brass.
He must be easily in the top.
Yeah.
But I assume he is. And then here we are, our heroes. So we have our paladins, we have our damsels, life heavens, and beasts, and we have this man, the Green Knight, which we have to pick.
Yeah, pairing those two together.
So he has a Sacred Guardian, so that's replenishment. which is
well, he's ethereal, right? So he's got that awe and power about him. So he's a guardian of the Bretonnian people.
disabled if not in forest. Interesting.
So with you spending all that money there,
By the way, we are dealing with like literally like so much money, so we're going crazy here.
we definitely want to get some. Let's check out some of the new peasant archers as well.
Okay.
Get some of those guys in.
Well, we're gonna get like one of everything here
Yeah.
because let's have some fun. Foot squires, obviously, 'cause
They're
they're
good.
awesome.
And the battle pilgrims. Did you pick one of those up there? Yeah, they're pretty good as well. And then we need to leave some space for our cavalry.
Yeah, so I'm going to go for the two ones we haven't shown off. So there are also some kind of like standard like mounted yeoman archers and mounted yeomans who are just like peasant cavalry basically.
Yeah.
So they will eat into your peasant economy.
Those ones will, yeah. So like I said earlier, absolutely everything factors in either the peasant set of troops or the nobility, the knights, and things like the field trebuchet, the yeomans, even the battle pilgrims, all that kind of stuff. That's all on the peasantry side. So I mean, you could definitely get them. Are you going to go for a life? Yeah.
Life is good.
Yeah, definitely.
Life is definitely good. I'm enjoying life at the moment. I don't know why I had to say that. Kind of like I'm being held against my hostage here.
And blessed. Well, it
so
depends on who
here.
we're fighting. If you're going to fight, say, vampires or something, then the blessed trebuchet. But are we going up against the orcs?
We're going to fight orcs. I think that makes
Yeah.
sense. Or we could try and recreate this from here. I'm going to get some more cav because right now I'm getting one of each, kind of really just to showcase everything.
Have you got the Grail Guardians?
Isn't the most. So 2 Grail Guardians,
Yeah.
2 Questing Knights, 1 Knight of the Realm, and some archers. So I need to make up some infantry numbers now. So I've got 1 unit foot squires, and then I think I'll make up the rest of the army with
Pole arms, yeah.
pole
they're
arms
good.
and just pole arms. We've already got a unit of. No, we don't actually. So I'm gonna get rid of them and get a unit of battle pilgrims.
Yeah.
So that's good. So the
I
green
love-
skin
I love those
army.
guys.
I'm going to delete that because that looks terrifying.
All those regiments are
Yeah,
renowned.
they are powerful. So I'm going to just play around a bit, not get anything crazy, because we want to have a bit of fun with these armies. We don't want to just go too mad.
Crimson. Oh yeah.
That's a pretty good army. I mean, technically you spent a lot more, but that's okay. Right, let's get this one underway.
Definitely.
Everyone's going peasant mobs. No, not doing that.
Can I see them pitchforks?
Yeah. Oh
And
god.
shovels and spades.
By the way, any chats for chats, any questions for Rich, please throw them out there and I'll try and pay attention to it. Because right now I am getting ready for my blessed trebuchet time. So we'll have a look at all these troops here in the rain with no choice on that at all. It's just decided terrain, it's very English. There's a question for you.
Yeah. Okay.
So, do you want to?
Yeah,
What
I
was the
mean-
question, and what do you want to say?
So yeah, I mean, we're asking here whether we take inspiration from the community, basically, and potentially the mods themselves. We absolutely are looking at what you guys are saying in the forums, at the shows, like we've just been to PC Gamer, and we love to hear your feedback and see what we can do with it. As you've probably seen already, we've been making small changes here and there with each update, whether it be a DLC or a free LC, and likewise even with the Terry Toolkit recently. We heard your feedback on about we want to see this stuff in the campaign. So Mitch did a great video with, I think it was Darren, explaining how that can work. So very much so. We want to make this the best game for you as we possibly can. This needs to be both the best Warhammer game and also the best Total War game. And some of the ideas that you come up with really help support that. So if and where possible, we will definitely look to do that.
So someone's saying 2 knights require multiple buildings to recruit in campaign, i.e. blacksmith and stables. You do need a stable, obviously, and the upgrade to that, and you need a armory.
Yeah, and it also depends on which knights as well that you're after. So if you want the Grail Guardians, they don't actually come out of the stable chain. They're going to come out of the chapel and religious building chain.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to quickly look through the units here. Hold on to your questions a bit. We'll ask a bit for those again in a second, because obviously trying to do 2 things at once here makes it quite difficult. So obviously here is our king. He is on all his mounts and he has all his abilities, and he is easily one of the most expensive and dangerous legendary lords on the battlefield, and more importantly, he looks good doing it.
It does, he looks amazing.
So we're flying, and we've got our paladin there as well, flying as well. They haven't changed much at all from the original paladin?
No, the paladins have pretty much stayed as they were. They're a good supporting melee hero, and then we've added the extra variants of the damsels to go along with the original Heavens version.
I want to show you guys the stats, but obviously our webcam is like right in the way, and I'm not playing around with it because it will hurt.
You don't want to knock the mic either.
Yeah, well, you've had a bit of luck with that today already, yeah? So obviously the Green Knight, melee specialist, cause terror, ethereal, melee expert, then is almost to the point where you're running out of places to put things in there. Yeah. He's pretty powerful, and we've already gone over that, so we'll talk more about the Green Knight over the course of the next few streams as well. Yes. He's not going to go away. Men at arms, pole arms, pretty simple. We've had these guys before. These haven't changed.
Yeah, okay. No. All the units have had a nice little bit of, rework, rebalance. We had quite a small roster originally, like we said earlier, and with adding all these extra new units in, we've been able to go back and sort of fill it out, change some people's positions, adjust the cost, adjust some of the stats and abilities, innate traits that they have, and really get them on par with all the other races on offer in our game.
That's more pole arms there, you can see. That's just the meat of your army usually, isn't it? So this is one of the new units. Battle Pilgrims.
Yeah, fanatics, worshipping the lady. They, I love the fact that they carry their shields around upside down. Essentially, that isn't a bug.
Yeah, why do they do that exactly? Is that just for? Well, is there a reason?
I'm not 100% sure on the rationale behind it, but as you see, they shave their heads like all the monks do. They're very fanatical.
Well, you can't be fanatical and hold a shield around.
Yeah, and if you and I'm going to say, and to support that, there's nothing quite like this anywhere else in the lore.
You know what? I thought this was a joke when I first saw it. I was sitting there playing on the build, because this was a while ago, and I was just like, what is this? Is this real?
Yes, it is.
It's very real. That guy down there knows. So, explain what is going on.
So, as you know, all the knights love to go off on their quests in the hope of eventually one day securing the fabled Grail, and this is one such knight here who's collected the Grail and has his chalice there to represent that, but he's sadly passed. And the Battle Pilgrims love to honour the tradition, and they worship the lady very much, that they carry him around. And of course a knight cannot be without his steed, so they've also got the dead horse represented there.
With a tail.
With a nice jingly jangly tail, yeah.
It's unbelievable when I first saw that. He looks drunk, says someone in chat. Even in death I still serve. And here is one of my favourite units in the entire game. Foot Squires. For 2 reasons. First of all, massive sword. Second, they've got some really good beards and mustaches, mustaches, because they're obviously French inspired, so you got to. But also, there's something about having shields on the back like that. They just look so cool. So what's the idea behind the Foot Squires? Because this is one of those new units.
So this is a new unit. So we work closely with Games Workshop on trying to bring about this expanded roster. And one of the areas that we felt needed a little boost, but not too much, because obviously Bretonnia is known for its cavalry, and we want to stay very much true to that IP. But we did feel we needed a few more options on foot, the foot squires emerge. So it's kind of that halfway house. These are aspiring knights, and they're going to be able to be good frontline troops. Not amazing. They're not going to be like an Empire Greatsword by any stretch of the imagination, but they're certainly going to be able to just hold down a few more scraps for a bit longer, because the rest of the peasantry is pretty weak, and you know they're likely to rout very quickly. So these guys are very useful in that regard, and so are the battle pilgrims, because they've got the nice sword and shield combo.
Yeah, I do like them. They're my makeshift. That's the units I use in my army. So here we are onto the two different types of bow units.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the thinking behind splitting up bows?
Yeah, so we've toned down the original peasant bowmen, which have just got the standard arrows, and then we've introduced these two new types, with the one with the flaming arrow here, and also the second one which has got the pox arrow, and they're just going to basically allow you to go out and I guess encounter some of the other races on a more even playing field. So if you're going to come up against, let's say, the wood elves, then the guys with the fire arrows are going to be very useful at helping to set those tree men alight, or take on the treekins. And likewise, you know, the pox arrows, if you've got waves and waves of greenskins coming at you, or Empire troops, then these guys are going to use that poisonous arrowhead to essentially just slow people down and do some damage there.
So moving on from them, we're now into cavalry territory, which is where everyone wants to be. Knights of the Realm.
Yes, stunning units. As you can see, they're all matched up now with their lances and shields and clothing over the horses. Gorgeous, lots of mixed colours and heraldry going on there.
They're definitely colourful. I think that's the kind of gives me flashbacks of being at like the medieval fairs and so on, and like tournaments. It's just that's what you expect basically when you think of a knight.
Absolutely.
Talking of knights,
there they are.
here they are, and like seriously, like they're just gorgeous. There's something about these units that just you suddenly realise that like a horse for a knight was always more than just a mount into battle. It was their transportation.
Absolutely.
It was their status symbol. It's what they carry everything with as well, and it definitely feels like that when you look at these units.
And they're doing this, right? So these are the guys that are going off to the far-flung corners of the world, undertaking the quest to essentially finally get the Grail blessing. And there's all their treasures and little bits and pieces just to help them get there.
That guy there needs a helmet though. I wouldn't go in a battle without one. And they're a very powerful unit as well.
They are.
Armoured, armour piercing and infantry, which is something you're going to come up a lot with.
Very handy, very
late
different
well.
to some of the other units on offer.
So then we have questing knights down here, who are we've got two units of questing knights.
They're that good.
They're that good. I got two, which is most definitely true. And then obviously you got the Grail Knights here, which are just amazing units.
They are legendary, fierce warriors, ultra aggressive. Just seeing them all there with their lances ablaze.
I love their different shields. I think that's why it's always drawn to me. Is like it feels like each of them have a very different take on their. They're all from different houses. It feels.
All representing the different duchies of Bretonnia.
So obviously we got a lot of Grow Knights because they're good, and we have a unit of Grow Guardians here, who are obviously a bit different compared. They don't have the lance, but they do have a flaming sword.
They do. So they have swords rather than lances, and these guys are known from the lore from the Fey Enchantress. They're very much the core protectors of the Lady and the Fey.
Mm-hmm.
So this unit's far more defensive as opposed to the Grail Knight itself. So they offer again a different role on the battlefield, and they look amazing and very, very useful in a scrap.
Yeah, like someone said in chat, I love the crest on the helmets. Like they've got the Pegasus in there, and one of them's got a castle. Two of them got castles. Like that. Okay, so we're getting into some of the units I absolutely love. So Royal Pegasus Knights, these guys are.
So that's another brand new unit. So these last three have all been new units taken from the book, from the lore, from inspiration, and crafted with Games Workshop. And these guys, they're essentially King Louen's Royal Guard. if you thought Pegasus Knights were good, these guys are even better.
I mean, put it this way, they're immune to Vigor as well, and they're a flying unit.
Yeah.
Vanguard deployment, and Blessing the Lady there, and immune to Psychology. So they're incredible.
And they're all there dressed in their royal colours of Louen, and they really help provide that aerial superiority now, which we wanted Bretonnia to have.
Yeah, I definitely do not want to be taking a Terrorgeist against these guys. And now on to what I think is probably my favourite new unit.
We'll introduce them.
No, I'll let you introduce them. You created them.
Okay, so finally, and definitely, I think this is going to be everybody's favourite unit. It has to be the Royal Hippogriff Knights. I think they're the unit which straight away we saw that there was a gap in the roster, something that we wanted something monstrous, large, that could really get in amongst it with all the other races, because when the Greenskins have got the Ragnarok Spiders and Empire's got the Demigriff Knights, we needed something on a par. So yeah, we've created these guys. They're quite small in number, as you might expect, partly because of their rarity in the world, but also so we don't make them ridiculously powerful in battle. And I think they're going to be a mainstay of everybody's Bretonnian army.
Cause fear, cause terror, armor piercing, obviously, all round very useful. And like I said, especially when you've got other units that cause terror as well, like Green Knight as well, these are going to be very useful against like all the human factions, and especially against Greenskins as well. So I think I'm going to enjoy using these guys. That's going to be my flying core there. Right, well, let's get these guys into battle, and then we're going to do a quick little Q&A. So you guys got any questions? Save it till this battle is finished. How much time we got? Maybe we should just go for Q&A. Yeah, we'll do a Q&A, because we've got plenty of time for battle, and I think we'll show off a lot of these units in battle over the course. And so, sorry to tease you guys with showing you all these cool units and then not having a fight, but we will do that tomorrow. So we are going to go back to our lovely screen here. So I'm going to put chat up in front so you can see a bit more. Or at least
and the microphone in the way.
Yeah, I know. Tell me all about it. I'm going to turn the game off in the background so we're not dealing with the PC getting loud. So guys, have you got any questions for Rich about the Bretonnians? And we'll try and answer them as many as you can in we got about 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. So anything you see there, just
yes. So top question there: did the Prophetess or the Fey Enchantress have their own unique skills? Absolutely. We've given each of the lords some unique abilities, both in the unique line at the very top, and also a smattering of unique ones throughout the battle and campaign. So you're going to have a few nice little bits and pieces to unlock with each one. The Fey's going to certainly focus more on the peasantry. Albric more on the knights, and Louwen's just a good mix of both.
He is indeed. So I'm going to go down here.
What have we got? So changes coming for old armies. There has been some rework done on some of the existing factions. We spent some time addressing the Wood Elves because we know that you guys have been mentioning about the Green Tide. So we've had some work done on them. They're going to be far less aggressive, more like the IP, but they will break out from time to time. So you will find that they'll come and create their outposts, but they're quintessentially they're going to stay in their forests and build up and confederate amongst themselves.
All right, so keep moving down.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, we'll take about 3 more and then we are going to head off.
So, does the Fae start with war against Orion, and does King Louen start allied to Marienburg? So, the Fae does start a war with Orion. We haven't changed that, which does make it a little tricky. But through her connections with, I guess her earthly powers, you can obviously sway Orion back on side, or you can just go straight for it and burn down the tree huggers.
You can do. We'll try.
Yeah. But Louen, so Louen starts at war with Marienburg. He also starts at war with the Orcs, just in the mountains to the south of him. And Marienburg, you can certainly go and take them out and gain all their wealth. Or like you just saw with James, you can sort of wait it out and see if they're going to offer you a peace treaty. Definitely different ways of going about it.
Yeah. I did have trebuchets I could have gone from.
Okay, so how long does the green last for? And is he temporary? Yes, he is. So each time you build up through your chivalry rank, you'll gain him for one summon, one use. If you were to say to drop down a bracket and then go up again, you wouldn't then get another token. So you're only going to get to use him, I think, 4 times in the total of the campaign.
Only 4 times?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
But each time you get him, you're going to get him for 15 turns. So you really want to make the use of him. He's going to be summoned with your legendary lord wherever they are in the world, and if they are currently wounded, he'll be summoned at your faction capital. And then so you're going to be able to embed him into your army, take him to battle, and if you want to, you don't have to use your summon during that bracket that you're in. You can build it up over time and potentially use him a couple of times towards the end of the campaign if you wanted.
Very nice. All right, 2 more, and then we are gonna hit the road.
I mean, with regards to questions about future content, right? This is the first game of a trilogy, like we've always said. So we're always going to look to, make it bigger, more colourful, more exciting. As you've seen, we've really tried to flesh out all the different parts of the old world, and that's something that we want to continue to do as much as we can when time allows it. Hence why we've done 3 lords for Bretonnia. We weren't just content with doing 1. We wanted to make use of all that huge land mass and all the different options that are available.
For sure. How far? I've got this one, Rich. Okay. How far will you be able to fling a stone with a Bretonnian trebuchet? Well, I think depending on the projectile's weight, I think about 300 meters, but obviously it depends on the projectile. So 1 more for you, obviously not trebuchet related because I'm the expert for that.
So is Mousillon playable in campaign? Sadly, it's not at the moment. We have introduced the Red Duke for you as a nice little bit of juicy free content update, and they are available to be played in custom and multiplayer battles.
All right. Well,
I will say there's a very good mod out there to play as Mousillon.
Yeah, I have it actually on this PC because we played it a while ago and I forgot it was still on, so it kept crashing my game because I was on one of the other builds. Right, okay, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us on Total War Live. Thank you very much, Rich, for joining us and sitting through what is obviously a trying experience of watching me play your baby. But it's okay because I didn't lose anything. No, but I've got 2 more days to do that, and I think that's something that can always happen. So, as always, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Catch us again tomorrow at the same time where we will be playing another faction in the Bretonnian Free LC, which is out on the 28th. And pay attention over the weekend where you will get to see the YouTubers get their hands on it as well. Nice. So it is going to be a busy time coming up with the weekend for Total War fans. So keep your eye on our social media channels, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.
See ya.